Hello, 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 everyone. Welcome to Kima Network Spaces Volume 17. Today with us, we have Kima Network and Tomer from Kima Network. How are you guys? Everything all right?
Everything is great. Happy to be here. Thanks for having us. All is great. Excuse Eitan for not being able to participate and join us today. Eitan is now in the UK in a convention and speaks to some people that cannot be passed on. Then you are lucky enough to have me then, guys. Happy to be
It's a
here. Thank
it's a
you.
pleasure. It's a pleasure, man. Guy, how are you, man? Can I just hear a mic check from your side to guarantee everything
Yeah,
okay?
hey everyone. I hope
No,
everyone is doing great, and
amazing, amazing.
very glad to have Kima Network with us today.
Top. Okay, so I know now that I can hear you loud and clear, guys. Perfect. So let's kickstart the space. Guys, the goal of this space is to introduce Kima to our community, let you guys understand what Kima is developing, and allow them to introduce themselves to the network community. So to kickstart, I believe I have the best question for you, Tomer. Could you share the story behind Kima Network and what motivated you guys to create this solution?
Yes, of course. I think then we will skip the intros, or I will give just a brief one.
Oh, sorry, forgot
No,
about that. Yeah, a quick brief
no,
about you. Who are you?
no,
Who are you in the company and so on? Sorry, I forgot that
no,
part. I was
no
eager to
worries,
jump to Kim.
no worries, no biggie. Believe me, I'm not the important main dish of this event. Then I will be very briefly just presenting myself. 25 years in digital marketing industry, CMO of Kima Network. I started as a Kima Networks angel investor, fell in love very, very quickly with the project and the technology. I was quite amazed that something like this can actually exist. It took me actually 6 hours to ask questions to understand how it exists. I will try to make it as efficient as I can for you guys in order to understand exactly what we do. I think I kind of found the secret formula after speaking to so many KOLs, investors, VCs, etc., etc., etc. I will do my best.
Bring it on.
Yeah. That's it, guys. I'm also writing to Forbes and to Cointelegraph about DeFi and GameFi, and I believe that we're going to have a lot of fun together. And happy to have your amazing community as part of our investors. We're lucky to have you guys. Looking forward to having this one. Let's kick it off.
Nice, thank you. Quite good, quite an interesting intro. Thank you very much, and apologies for forgetting to ask this.
Okay.
Guy, I think people don't need to your brief because you are here all the time and people already know you. But if you just want to do a quick intro about yourself.
Yeah, sure. So I'm the founder and CEO of Your Network. Your Network is a decentralized venture studio and syndicate, and we are constantly trying to find the next unicorn. This time it was Kima, and let's kick it off.
Nice, nice. Quick and clean. So let's kickstart for everyone in the audience. Let me just briefly explain. We have a set of questions for Kima prepared. We will pose the questions, we will discuss, the conversation will flow organically. In the end, if we do have some time, I will open the room for any questions that you may have. If you do have live questions during the chat, you can use the button on the bottom corner of your phone to pose the questions, and I'll read them through to Tomer or G in the end. And if you want to come here to the panel, just say something in the comments that you want to come to pose X question, and I will allow you in. So, Tomer, let's kickstart. What's the story behind Kima, and what motivated you guys to create this?
Yeah. So what basically made Kima come to life is our investors' bright mind, Eitan's bright mind, the team that thought that there's a need to solve liquidity problem across chains and to make the Web3 realm a safer place for everyone who would like to participate in this amazing era of digital asset ownership, easy, seamless, and to basically do what happens in Web 2, in the traditional web, in Web 3, which is a place where everyone can collaborate together, interact, and communicate with one another. That would be every infrastructure solution. At the moment, blockchains are not working in collaboration. Blockchains are working one against the other. Every blockchain needs to survive by moving liquidity users and protocols to its own blockchain. Imagine it's like, every blockchain that is being born, a new network, a new layer 2, a new layer 1, is like doomed to battle its way forever with participants who will join the industry now and in the future. That's due to the fact that they do not work well with each other. There is no way to make all of them speak in a safe, seamless way and to enjoy basically the actual infrastructure solution that they provide for developers and for users to interact with the digital creations, with apps on top of them. Every blockchain nowadays every interoperability solution today works using smart contracts and using oracles. Now, these are basically very, very hackable. There's a law saying that every code written by man can be hacked by another. So we see it all the time. Bridges are getting hacked all the time and liquidated. And that's usually the reason why the Web2 world, the centralized world, cannot communicate with the decentralized world due to lack of security, the risk of transferring digital assets from one site to another, and the complexity of integrating and connecting to each and every chain. So bridges at the moment work with smart contracts that confirm that when I send something from one side, for example on Solana, I send $100 USDC, then once the smart contract confirms receiving $100, he initiates on the Ethereum side another smart contract transaction to send another $100 to the specific Ethereum wallet address that I provided on the first side. Now, when a hacker finds a way to either use the same signature of sending the first $100 over and over again, basically you can send unlimited amount of transactions that will present that to the bridge that it just received $100, and on the other side basically to give another $100. So sending $100 once, then getting approval for the cent, and then getting $100 on Ethereum, sending zero using the same signature, getting 100, sending zero with the same signature, getting 100 until it liquidates the bridge. Another way is to find a way to trick the bridge that it was received $100 when I'm just sent 1 cent. Then I'm sending 1 cent using an exploit to make him think that I received 100, that I sent 100, and I'm getting 100 on the other side. There are many ways, basically, as you can guess, to hack these. And Kima solved it by basically providing an environment that has no smart contracts for interoperability purposes on the Kima network. Actually, Kima network has no users, no protocols on top of it. And every dApp that connects to Kima basically makes all of their users go through Kima. Then Kima is, you can say, a peaceful infrastructure solution that works underneath the blockchains and not with a bridge above them, as I like to present. And basically resolves all this interoperability magic by messaging infrastructure protocol that connects all of the blockchains together and all of the centralized entities into the blockchain and vice versa. We do this with a unique technology of messaging. So everything that is connected now to Kima, and Kima is connected to every network only once, every network that we're connected to Kima, when you're connecting on your network, on your blockchain, to the Kima relay connector, however you want to call it, you're now technically connected to all of the Kima network and all of the blockchains and the centralized entities it's connected to easily, and you can communicate with them. I will elaborate more afterwards. So that's what brought us to create it.
Yeah, thank you, Tomer, for the great explanation. I just want to ask you a follow-up question, just to make it simpler for the users. So could you tell us what is the user flow? Let's say that the user wants to perform, I don't know, like a transaction from AVAX to Ethereum using Kima technology, of course, under the assumption that these networks are already connected to Kima. And they just want to make a transfer and after swap these assets and bring it back to the first chain.
Great, I will be happy to explain. Thanks for asking. I was waiting to explain. Then I thank you for asking it. Basically, how we operate. So, like the first bridge that I just gave you an example of, or using an oracle to resolve these, what Kima does differently is very, very unique. When you on the same procedure sends $100 to the Solana smart contract, you will be now as an interoperability solution. Let's say that you wanted to transfer it from your AVAX to Ethereum, which is exactly the same. Then on AVAX you receive the $100. The Kima connector on AVAX now received a message that says, if Tomer sent $100 with that specific transaction ID and you confirm it, then you go to Avalanche and you give him $100 once validated. So on that process, you're basically connecting to the Kima connector. The Kima connector now initiates the second part of the transaction. Important to mention. So as I said in Kima, we have no smart contract. Every blockchain on Earth has smart contracts that are managing assets on top of it. Kima Network is very unique. Kima has no smart contracts managing assets, but the Kima blockchain itself is managing assets on all of the networks that we are connected to. I will try to explain it how it works. Then on your process on AVAX, when you send the $100, arrives to the Kima network. Kima network now needs to physically see that $100 has arrived to the specific address on AVAX. Once it confirms that the assets are there, they physically exist there, 2/3 of the nodes, the validators on the network, are releasing their shards, basically revealing their shard, unlocking a part of the seed phrase, the multi-sig part that they're taking part of, forming basically the transaction on Ethereum, and will send you $100 on Ethereum from that specific vault that holds the stable coins. Now, all of this process happened with basically two smart contracts who are not a part of Kima. It happened once on the AVAX side and confirmed not by the smart contract, but by the Kima network that validated that it really happened using a message that now initiates, once confirmed physically by the network, initiates the second part of the message and credits you $100 on the Ethereum side, which happened, of course, thanks to a smart contract transaction. In the middle, Kima was just a messaging layer that basically said, yes, $100 have arrived on Avalanche, and now you can give him $100 on Ethereum. There was no smart contract that is doing the transaction. The network physically approved that these things have happened, saw it, confirmed it, and by that created the second part of the transaction. So basically, we went through three theoretically unhackable layers to create a transaction. One, no smart contracts. Nothing to steal if nothing is moving. You cannot hack something that basically doesn't exist. I've sent a message. There was no software that ran here. Kima Network now validates that the transaction actually happened and that the assets are there. So theoretically, unhackable again. 2/3 of the nodes are confirming that the asset is physically there. Once done, each validator is releasing a shard. We're using Intel's technology to do this magic, this MPC, TEE, TSS process, to basically create this magic of creating the multisig and going to Ethereum and sending the $100. This is again theoretically unhackable. You guys probably know the CPU core of your computer is the safest and most secure hardware piece of computing that you have in your computer. It's theoretically unhackable to hack there. And if you hacked it and you hacked all of them at once and were able to release the shard, well, congrats. If you've passed all of these tests, take the $100, they're yours. Then that's what Kima does that is different than the rest. Now, due to the unique nature, by the way, of the solution, we're the only ones who actually have an API and an SDK. So our API and an SDK, because we are not relying on smart contracts, allows the centralized world inside and outside communication to any existing blockchain in the world. So we're the only ones who can do it with direct connection to your bank, direct connection to your Robinhood app, direct connection to your PayPal, direct connection even to Twitter, to initiate a Twitter space, whatever an API call can do. And on the other hand, the same thing can happen from the centralized entities through Kima Network to any blockchain on Earth using our API and an SDK. We're the only technology in the world that enables it. By the way, not sure if I mentioned, but we have 3 patents in the pipeline already on that technology on the Web2 side. Then on the Kima side, this is how we do it without actually having smart contracts. And for the user, imagine a world where all of this happening in completely seamless way. The users do not even know or should care that they're using Kima. We're having this call probably, I assume, on a technology infrastructure provided by Cisco. Do any of us know what Cisco is? No one knows. We're using probably, Cloudflare technology to protect from DDoS attacks. We're using some sort of a hosting service. We've used DNS, we've used HTTP protocol, we've used the IPv4, v6, TCP IP, and all of the rest of these internet magic mumbo jumbles. We're all users of these services without even knowing that they exist, and we shouldn't. We just want to post a tweet on Twitter, right? Or a tweet on X or whatever we say nowadays. That's basically what we want to do. We don't care about the technology behind it, and users should not care. When a user is playing a game, he doesn't know if it's built on Unreal Engine or on Unity, and he shouldn't care. What does he care? They just want to have fun playing the game, right? Same exact thing with Kima. So as for the user experience, users are not using our amazing technology today of decentralization and digital asset ownership because it's too complex to use. This is too hard to actually try and integrate and operate with. With Kima, it's as easy as going to your bank, connecting your wallet through the Kima network, let's say Ethereum, Solana, or whatever that the bank decides to connect to, and just deciding to buy 5 Apple stocks using your Ethereum. The bank will do the calculation, will go to your Ethereum wallet, sends a transaction, sends basically a message through the Kima network to liquidate a certain amount, let's say a half ETH, to be liquidated on Ethereum. Once the Kima network will confirm that it has seen that half ETH worth of USDC, the bank credits you with the same amount of dollars. You bought the Apple stock, and that's it. No intermediaries in the middle. Now, all of this magic is happening with the speed of light. Kima is basically not resolving almost anything. We're not resolving. We're not computing almost anything on this point in order to resolve a smart contract. The latency, basically, it's the amount of time it took Ethereum to resolve the transaction, Solana to resolve the transaction, and AVAX, to your question, to resolve the transaction. The rest is happening with the magic of the internet, almost at the speed of light, as easy as we're having this conversation now during a lot of amazing technological wonders that are happening. So it will happen at the speed of light live. Users happy, banks are happy, blockchains are happy.
I don't know about you. I don't know about you, Guy, but I'm completely mind blown by this explanation. Do you have any questions, Guy?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly why I was so eager for us to invest in this project. When I just heard Tomer explaining this technology, I was mind blown, and I thought to myself, how is it possible that someone is solving this problem like this? And yeah, I mean, it's amazing. What can I
Tom,
say?
I do have I was recalling what you say. Won't there be a risk on the APIs itself, since you will be so highly dependent on the APIs?
If you need to get into the technicals of the APIs and the SDKs, to be honest, I'm not on the tech team that is
Okay,
building
okay,
it,
okay.
but you can assume that due to the fact also that part like is controlled by the nodes, and it's as easy as basically like providing like a hot fix that will provide a fix to anything that we might encounter. And of course, if we're speaking on the centralized side, that deals, of course, with the API and the SDK side, then you can probably guess that it's a centralized side, and on that end, we're less vulnerable to
Yeah,
risks and have more flexibility to changes.
yeah. Sorry for the question,
No, of
but
course, don't be
I
so.
was just
All the,
thinking
all the
of.
questions are right, guys. Please ask everything that you have in mind. We don't need a list. Ask everything that you have on your mind. We're an open book. If I don't know something that is technically happened, I will just tell you that technically I do not have all the answers.
All good, all good. Let's maybe go for a following up question I had for you. So your liquidity management is is done through an AI driven algorithm. Can you elaborate a little bit on how it works and what's the benefit of having AI managing it?
Yeah, so I will try to explain it as easy as I can, and as fast as I can, and give some examples. So Kima has a unique liquidity rebalancing algorithm. It's called the LIMA, liquidity management algorithm, as you can guess. Uses machine learning that predicts supply and demand of liquidity among the connected ecosystems. Efficient liquidity management is a huge pain point in every financial system. TVL is basically a flawed metric. What it actually means is that money is sitting idle, waiting for someone to use it. It's waiting to be used. But if you don't have enough liquidity, transactions will be rejected. So the challenge is to balance the liquidity and optimize it in a way that will serve maximum transactions without affecting capital efficiency. Because money that is waiting is costly, as it can be applied elsewhere and generate yield for you. So TVL is a vanity metric. The right metric is efficiency ratio. TVL divided by volume. That's the velocity of money. The higher, the better. So another problem is, how can you ensure that liquidity is available just in time and just enough? That's where the AI comes into play. The algorithm tracks usage patterns across all chains, predicts demand, and adjusts the liquidity provider's incentives mechanism to incentivize LPs to deploy their liquidity where it's needed. So I will simplify it by giving an example like Uber. So Uber is balancing the supply and demand using surge fees. This is how they move drivers to and motivate them to provide service where demand is high. The demand just pays higher fees, which gets passed on to the drivers. That's exactly how Lima is managing in a very, very smart AI way all of the liquidity. I hope I answered in a simple way.
No, I think it's quite understandable and easy to grasp the idea. Thank you for that. Tomer, I don't know if I should call you the best guest we ever had or the worst, because you ticked all the questions on a single answer. So, man, I'm running out of questions to you because you really did explain well. Basically, let's go for the basic ones. In terms of primary use cases, it's clear that you will be focusing on moving liquidity around. what do you think that for the users, this will have an extra impact in? Will it just be for liquidity, or will it have any other impact on the daily usage of blockchain technologies?
Oh, definitely not only liquidity, if you ask me. Eitan, our CEO that invented Kima, co-founder of it, says, he first called it financial interoperability 2.0. I like just to call it interoperability 2.0 because imagine that once you connect to ecosystems, at the moment we're using blockchain like to transfer money, which is, it's like kind of simple and yet, smart, but yet dumb, use of this amazing technology of decentralization. Digital asset ownership, guys, is so much more than moving like money. Money is just the means, basically, to do what you need on the other side. If it's to buy an asset or to pay for a certain activity, it can be a transaction, it can be even a tweet. So, due to the fact that we have an API and an SDK and that Kima is such a unique solution, imagine that someone on the other side now decides to create a Kima app that will basically connect Twitter API to Ethereum. Now, on that two ends, you can basically create the whatever, if this, then that you want in the world. So the evolution of the Web3 internet was basically Bitcoin proof of concept that decentralization and blockchain can exist. Then Vitalik amazed us with smart contracts, right? Ethereum basically said if this, then that, else, and the rest, and then a whole logic enabled us to create the magic of Web3 that we have today, basically unlimitless options to do whatever we want. Then we had Bancor presenting automatic market makers, and decentralized exchanges began to emerge at the beginning of DeFi. And then we had the magic of NFTs that enabled digital asset ownerships, with NFTs. And now the next evolution that I see, and that's why I started as an investor and was amazed and enjoyed the team as part of it, was basically making everything work together with Kima, like with an interoperability, decentralized protocol that connects everything to everything. So moving money is one thing, boring. Moving money is not an interesting. Imagine that now I'm saying that I'm initiating now a transaction that every time that smart contract on Ethereum side receives 1 ETH, then take a certain tweet that I send you now, and through Yay Network, retweet it. Now, Kima will be a layer that confirms everything. You will send 1 ETH and automatically retweeted through Yay Network's platform. Imagine that you want to pay now for your ads. You want to pay on your ads now for Facebook ads, Twitter ads, Google ads, whatever you want to do directly with no intermediaries. Again, can credit you easily, by liquidating through Kima assets. Again, in the financial realms. But imagine that your assets now are sitting on your game assets are now sitting on BNB Chain, Solana, or Polygon. And you're connecting PlayStation Network, your account, directly to your Solana wallet to use your NFTs in the PlayStation Network game, or to use your NFTs on Xbox. This is like mind-blowing. It's true digital ownership outside of our nerd ecosystem, of crypto-savvy people who actually know how everything works, without having to hold so many wallets and so many chains in a very simple one connection that will do everything for you. This is basically what we do. It's quite crazy the amount of things you can do that are way beyond liquidity. Liquidity is the money side. People like to buy it because it's money and it makes sense. But the opportunities are so much more, man. So much more.
Man, I'm imagining, like, in terms of, I don't know if you guys have already explored this use case, but I see so much potential in terms of IoT, like putting the information, crossing the information between devices, and all together basically create a single ecosystem that would be amazing and completely groundbreaking. for that sense. I don't know if you guys already explored the idea, but please do, because IoT needs a solution for interoperability between devices.
Totally, man, and this is what we're inviting people to create. So, for example, imagine that you have now. I'm going wild with you, right? Because you asked a very interesting question. Imagine that now LG televisions, or set aside the LG, Netflix. If you watched binged a whole series in less than a week, you will get a unique NFT of that TV show dropped into your Solana wallet or your Polygon wallet. So it's amazing that Netflix can actually do that thing now, right? Or if you own, let's say, a digital part of a movie, and you will be able basically to see it in your Netflix library or in your Apple library or whatever library it is. Or you connect your fridge that every time that you open it, basically you are losing points if you're on a diet, and it will count how many times you open the fridge, and if you achieved a certain goal, then you will get a certain achievement in a blockchain game, or you will get a unique NFT item. This is completely crazy, and all of these things can be done through Kima. We actually have the ability to do it.
I have to say something, Tomer. We were having a lot of reactions before you mentioning the diet example. People didn't like the diet example here, so let's keep away from that end. But amazing experience that we can give to the users.
Sorry for the diet, but I'm just going wild. You say Internet of Things. Well, it can also be, it can be, of course, your air conditioner.
Are you guys?
You know, yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, Tomer, for me, what I think is the real killer is the one which you mentioned in the beginning, that you can connect your wallet to your bank account. And basically, you don't really need to do this constant fiat to crypto to fiat transactions. I mean, these markets will be obsolete, like this all fiat on ramps, P2P. I mean, you will not need to use any of that. You just connect your wallet and you are good to go. For me, I think that's like the main advantage, because even if I think Kima is really creating the technology that is tailored for the actual Web2 world. And by doing that, you don't only have a very powerful platform, but you actually contribute to the cryptocurrency mass adoption. So you make it much easier to onboard new people and much less hassle, because now that it's bull market times, it's the time when all my friends and relatives that I haven't spoken for 2 years, they start asking me, "Oh, Guilherme, how can I buy some bitcoins? How can I do this and that?" And it's pretty complex for the usual person to create an account in the exchange, then try to understand what is this platform. Now I need USDT, and I need my card, and I need to pass KYC, and I need like all this stuff, and then withdraw to the DEX, and then do all these things. And I mean, it's just so complex just to make the simple fiat to crypto transfer. I mean, for when it's your very first time, it can be pretty challenging. So here I really see that you are fixing a problem that has been a problem for a long time. And I worked 3 years as a CEO of a fiat on ramp, and I can say even having this technology, people still have a lot of struggles. And in that time, it was still early days of fiat on ramps, and people struggled. It was still, I would say, almost as simple as purchasing an airplane ticket, but our support team was constantly under heavy pressure, because all people having struggles to make the transactions. And then they don't understand, for example, they ask wallet address and they put like their home address. I mean, it's like really a challenge for everyone, and I think this just makes everything easier.
In a short time of period, you can just tell Siri to transfer the money, and he will be late.
Yeah. Yeah. So, when you and I first spoke, by the way, you're like the first guy. I know that, like, after a few minutes, you were like, okay, like, I get it. And, you were amazed from it. And I was like, how can it be that it takes you so little time to understand what we do? So it is indeed, because you come from around, you have a lot of experience, in these realms. This is why it's so much fun to work with the A Network, and with you guys. Always a pleasure. So again, I just want to take the opportunity to say thank you guys for your support and for your belief in what we're doing here in Kima.
Yeah, it's our pleasure, and I'm very happy that we got connected and the opportunity to meet you, you and your team, and also very excited that you guys also work closely with ChainGPT, which is our common friend, and I would say one of the most successful projects that was launched in 2023, and one of the potential unicorns that I can see for the near future. So I think you have everything, the whole recipe to be successful, and we are really also excited to be part of this process.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And indeed, ChainGPT are one of the guests, the best partners indeed that we can get and choose in this life. Indeed, are great. Team is great. Pushing, always pushing. Team that works 24/7. They give their heart and soul for their incubations and their accelerations. I can tell you that from experience, part of also ChainGPT is, as a mentor there and also an advisor, a strategic advisor for the team. So definitely we're lucky to have them. It's also an opportunity to say thanks to the ChainGPT team. And as an investor, I can tell you there is one of the projects that I believe in the most in my portfolio is indeed the ChainGPT. The magic, by the way, that you mentioned, that we're doing the payments directly without intermediaries. I just wanted to mention, I'm not sure if I said it in the beginning, but Kima is a part of, if I'm already, taking the opportunity to thank people who are working with us and entities that are with us. Kima is part of MasterCard's FinSec Innovation Labs. We're basically backed by MasterCard's FinSec. They're running and will be running Kima validators and nodes. We're also doing with them a pilot, first in the world. I call it a blockchain direct credit card. It's going to be a blockchain that without any intermediaries and without any intervention with smart contracts automatically will liquidate your assets on chain with a swipe of a card directly, exactly like a debit card, which is something completely unique in this industry. We're very proud of it. So yeah, we're very lucky to have you guys also with us. We're proud of having you guys in this adventure, and the ability to be your own owner of your assets also without having to risk giving them to a bank to store, to our grandmothers and mothers and fathers to buy a Bitcoin, and they will hold it custody and an ETFs, and the volatility of the stock markets and the manipulations with big money in these areas. All of it is being eliminated. Hold your assets where they are. Easy and simple.
Exactly. And your bank account cannot be frozen.
100%. 100%. I'm sure that all of us, have encountered these problems with the centralized bodies at the end. We're transferring, they're all taking our money very easily. After a second, you can deposit as much as you want, but then you try to withdraw. This is where the party starts. Then suddenly they care who you are, where you lived, what you do, what kind of work you have, how much money you have, who got you, who bought you, proofs, banks, everything needs to be sent. And the funny thing is, I had a funny experience with one of the centralized exchanges. We're already discussing about this subject. I moved, some stable coins to be staked, to generate some yield. Well, the money, again, like we're doing, is sitting idle. And supposed basically to work when it's not used. One day I got a transaction from a wallet that apparently was marked there as, I don't know, it was a black mark there for some kind of an activity with a contract that wallet did in the past. I have no idea how these guys just managed to create some kind of an interaction with that. But long story short, guys, I did not do anything. Like, I got a deposit from someone. All of my account was frozen. I had to go through, like, doing DD for myself, all the process to prove everything. Proof of address, KYC from the beginning, proof of funds, source of funds, show salaries, receipts, SAFs, everything just to touch my money. Then in a world with Kima, we're completely resolving it. The bank stays the bank. You do what you do with the bank, but you can keep all your assets under your keys and your management on chain. And no one can tell you that it's not yours and you need to prove something to someone.
Yeah, I mean, for me, that's just the killer about Kima. That's just makes everything so much easier. And I mean, I don't know how can someone not be bullish on this, to be honest. I think, especially taking into account that you guys are backed by MasterCard, I think it's already a sign that the Web2 world is watching and is interested to enable this technology. And I think the timing is great. We have the ETFs approved, and even other countries have started to allow also their citizens to trade these American ETFs. And this is just the beginning, I would say. I mean, every year I say that it's the beginning, but I mean, every year there is new stuff, and I just feel like the market is really changing, and it's great to see that you are building something that it's not only for yourself as a company, but you are building something bigger, that it's for everyone to be able to interact with the blockchain, have the ability to have privacy, security, manage and be custodian of your own funds without having to trust third parties. I mean, you are basically just solving all the biggest problems in crypto.
I do have a question, Tomer. And sorry to go back a little bit to the technical part. Would it be possible, or is it possible to basically permissionless? I hate when I miss the words.
Permissionless.
Permissionlessly, exactly. Connect with Kima. So any DApp, any centralized service can connect with Kima, or do they need to go through a process?
Of course, guys. No, guys. Important to say, Kima is completely decentralized.
Amazing.
100% decentralized. The only part that you will encounter, maybe the permission part, is if you reached to a centralized entity on any of the sides, like if you tried outside of a centralized entity or inside. But as a network, guys, we have no control of what is going on in Kima. The people can create whatever they want on the network. They can create everything they want. They do not need to ask us. Of course, we're here at these stages to provide support and answers with everything that the developers require. But you can do everything you want on your own and start building on top of Kima.
Amazing. That was the question I had. That was,
yeah.
Man, I don't want to take much of your time. So we are basically getting to the 45 minutes. To round up, can you give us some insights on updates coming, anything new coming, partnerships or whatsoever? What juice can you give to these guys more than you already gave?
Well, some things, especially through the Web2 realms, are very strict with MOUs and NDAs, and you guys know how these things work. Then there's not much I can share in specific names until we reveal them officially and we get the approvals to discuss them. For example, like MasterCard's FinSec Innovation Labs and these things that we can completely already say. Another huge integration that we're releasing now with one of the biggest card issuers, crypto card issuers in LATAM will be soon announced in our channels, so follow us for updates. I can just say and give you like a brief teaser of one I can say. First of all, Trondao. We have a partnership with Trondao. So here you hear it, guys, first before we even announced it. It happened yesterday night over here. Then officially can now reveal. We have an official partnership with them. We're also going to sponsor their hackathon. To the more centralized part of our show, let's call it, I can just say that 3 of the biggest Fortune 500 companies in the world and 1 country that is involved in 1 project are at this stages are in this time in MOU stages to finalize a very big strategic partnership with Kima in 3 different aspects. Once everything, of course, will be signed and we'll get the approval to discuss them, you will get the tweets. For sure, you will hear about it once it will happen. Even not if you don't need to follow us to hear about these big things. I promise you that you will know that they happened. Everything moves very fast in Kima. We're working on all fronts, the decentralized and centralized realms. For example, Eitan could not join this call today because he's now in meetings with the centralized part of Kima, which is working with some very big players on some very big moves at this moment with Tsachi, our COO, and they're in meetings just 24/7 in London. They did not expect, of course, that there will be so much demand to what we do there, but they arrived and, we're not complaining. So we had to push also all of his calendar 24/7 and to be there now. So excuse him again for not being able to join. I hope that I was entertaining enough.
Oh, you were, for sure.
But thanks. Big things are coming, guys. Let's just say that we're now in a stage that we're already trading papers with a project backed by a certain very big country to issue the country's CBDC currency. I cannot say more. It's only we're in papers. It's not signed, not done. We're in papers. Then this is as close as I can give you to something that I'm not allowed to speak
Okay, thank you very much. I don't want to get into trouble. I don't want to get you into trouble, so thank you very much. TG date, do you have anything to expect? So do we tell the investors, or is it also under a disclosure?
So we can disclose the target date. We are aiming to do it somewhere around May.
Okay.
We don't have a specific date set in stone, and that's due to the fact that we're working with a few exchanges now on terms and trying to facilitate deals. And basically, if 1 or 2 of them saying yes, if they say and if it happens, it will change the course of the date because these are basically entities you cannot say no to. Everything is very initial stages. Nothing is happening yet. But aiming for May 2024.
Amazing. Tomer, thank you very much for coming. It was a pleasure hosting you. As I said in the beginning, I don't know if you were the best or the worst, probably the best guest we have ever had, because this was not only really entertaining, but you really dropped some alpha. I don't know if you have any final words to say to Tomer.
Yeah, thank you very much, Tomer, for coming to our space and getting to meet our community. As always, it's really great to speak to you and hear everything about Kima. So we stay in touch. Thank you for coming and let's kill it.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you for having me. It was a lot of fun. And again, I want to thank all of your amazing network and all of your community members first for being part of it today and giving us their precious time to hear more about our project Kima. And second, of course, for your amazing support in the project and looking forward to do amazing things together. I'm sure that we will. Thank you so much, guys. Nothing but love. It was a lot of fun.
Thank you very much, man. Cheers.
Thank you, Tomer. Bye-bye. Cheers.
Bye.